Access Sacramento presents Hometown Sports Game of the Week. Major underwriting support this season for Hometown Sports Game of the Week on Access Sacramento is provided by the Sacramento Metropolitan Cable Television Commission. Access Sacramento also thanks Sharif Jewelers, fine jewelers since 1932. Sharif Jewelers, a longtime sponsor of community television. And Folsom Lake Honda, a proud sponsor of Access Sacramento's Hometown TV and Game of the Week, and a partner in our community, Folsom Lake Honda.
We have reached week 4 of the 2018 high school football season around the Sac Joaquin section, and that brings us to the doorstep of conference play, and specifically tonight, the Sierra Foothill League being showcased with number 1 versus number 2. Good evening and welcome to Prairie City Stadium here on the campus of Folsom High School, where tonight the host Bulldogs take on the visiting arch rival, Oak Ridge Trojans. Hello again, along with the Imperator, Jim Domino. I'm Will James. We've got the table set for you. We've seen these teams battle many times, Jim. Each one seems to have a unique feature.
Well, it certainly does. These are two of the top teams annually every single year, and it's no different this year. We have one rated number 2 in them, and the Domino doesn't, of course, and that's Oak Ridge. And number 1, of course, Folsom. Two great coaches at the helm with great coaches and great talent. This figures to be a matchup that everyone wants to see, and who knows if it isn't for the number 1 spot in the powerful SFL Football League.
Well, let's take a look at the last meeting between these two approximately 1 year ago. It was up the hill a bit further, and Folsom put it together in a big win.
Well, they certainly did. Folsom went up there to Oak Ridge, and other than Oak Ridge getting that first touchdown and leading 7-0, then Folsom exploded and had big second and third quarters with Bennett leading the way, passing for 3 touchdowns and running for 2 more.
Well, both teams are prepped for tonight's game, one a little bit more than the other. If we examine the last outings for these two teams, as far as the visitors are concerned, they had a bye week. And their previous game was on the road. They were in Nevada playing Reed, and they avenged a loss from last year just about by an identical score, Jim.
Well, they certainly did. Oak Ridge went up to Reno and visited Reed High School, one of the top programs in the state of Nevada. Matt Jenner had a terrific night, throwing for 3 touchdowns to 3 different receivers. And then the A-boys, Adelman and Anderson, combined for a touchdown apiece to lead the way to a nice 42-13 victory over Reed.
Well, they're raring to go. They've had the extra time off, and Coach Cavalier has taken advantage of that. Now for Chris Richardson's ball club, they're going to bring the momentum off their last outing. They had to travel for that one, Coach.
Well, they sure did. They went into the L.A. area to play Chaminade, ranked number 13 in the state of California. The Bulldogs jumped on them real quick, with 51 points at the half. Bennett again became a one-man wrecking crew, accounting for 6 touchdowns and runs of 2 or more. Once again, Folsom prevailed by a big score, 70-34.
Both coaches have drilled all week, and they're going to have their impact players come up big tonight. And for Eric Cavalier's ball club, he's going to have to dole out extra tonic tonight.
Well, Coach Cavalier is. Let's start with your quarterback, Matt Jenner, having a terrific year, throwing for 68% and 6 touchdowns. And Zach Welsh, all tackle lineman. Nathan Adelman, top runner and linebacker. And Sam Sanders, one of the top linebackers in the SFL.
Coach Richardson will counter. As mentioned before, the Chaminade momentum spilling over to this week for them. And, of course, the Bulldogs prime players, they've got so many of them, and we'll highlight a few of them on our graphic here.
Well, starting with Caden Bennett. He does it all. He's thrown for over 1,000 yards already in only 4 games. Daniel Nagata, running back, great receiver, plays defense. Noah Jenkins, an outstanding defensive player at linebacker. Parker Clayton, two-way starter, outstanding receiver, and defensive back. And as you mentioned, Will, they have many, many weapons.
We've got the table set for you here at Prairie City Stadium on the campus of Folsom High School. This is the Sierra Foothill League opening game. And 2 arch rivals ranked number 1 and number 2 as Oak Ridge comes in to try to put an upset on Folsom. Don't wander off. When we come back, we'll check in with our buddy, Lauren Goodman. She's got a lot more on tonight's big matchup. Stay with us.
So how was work?
It was 1,300 hours. My math class from 302 was in the trenches. Davy Roth had it the worst. Fractions were coming at him left and right. He just didn't get the damn things.
2 days ago, I tried to teach him what 1/4 of 1/2 was using different sizes of blocks.
Yesterday, I tried again by dividing up pizza. Both missions failed.
Oh no.
But today, I was ready. I created a combat math game where the only way to beat the enemy is to out-fraction them. Davy conquered every last denominator.
My game was so successful, the principal is deploying it to math squadrons all over the school. Anywho, how was your day?
Oh, today my boss treated the office to salad wraps.
Salad wraps.
I know.
Open road, here comes the Heffley family.
Whether it's a short trip or a long haul,
Estimated time, 47 hours.
they will beg,
You're hungry? I'm happy to provide.
they will plead.
Deep fried butter on a stick.
But whatever you do, don't wimp out.
Now you're talking.
Make them buckle up.
He can't hurt.
Remember, safety first. Cheese curls, second.
Are you orange?
Sure, I look cute now, but when my owner lost his job, it was rough. I was living on the street, and one night, me and this Cocker Spaniel got into it so bad, I wound up looking like an ice cream cone. I cried a little bit, but thankfully I got rescued, so I'm running, I'm jumping, all back to my old self. And I'm ready to give unconditional love, even if you put a lampshade on my head.
Nice to have you with us for the Hometown Sports Game of the Week, Access Sacramento. With Jim Domino, I'm Will James. Let's bounce it down to the field. Lauren Goodman has more on tonight's game. Lauren?
Well, we're full of 2 teams, powerhouses, and these coaches are very familiar with ourselves. For the visiting team, we're going to start with Eric Cavalier. He's in his 12th season with Oak Ridge, and he has been the leader of the helm, and he's doing a great job at it. In the last 5 years, Coach has put together over 10 wins each season, so he is a winner, and he's an established winner over there at Oak Ridge. Also, in 2012 and 2013, Coach got to the D1 finals, so he is very prepared coming in to this battle tonight. For the home team, we have Chris Richardson. In his 14th season, Coach has set a tone for a winning tradition for the Bulldogs. He has no other expectation but greatness. Over 150 wins in his career, and just since 2008, he has had 134 wins with 14 losses. He has no expectation of losing, and he sets the standards high. 3 CIF state championships, 6 SJS titles, and 8 league titles. Coach is definitely setting a trend and a tradition for winning for Folsom. Now, these two teams know each other very well. A series history that they put together where these two teams have met 15 times, and this is going to be the 16th meeting. Now, Oak Ridge came out in the first 3 meetings, won easily, and now Folsom is dominating this streak, and they've won the last consecutive 12 matchups. Oak Ridge is coming into a battle, and Folsom is ready to protect home court. Back to you, Will.
Thank you very much, Lauren. Crowd continuing to stream into Folsom prior to tonight's opening kickoff to see this number 1 versus number 2 battle. And I imagine it'll be a full house before that opening kickoff is even in the air. These two teams have a reputation for capacity crowds. Stay with us. We're going to step away for a moment and come back for tonight's opening kickoff.
Here's something we bet you didn't know. Nearly half of all cancers can be prevented. That's right, half. Nearly 50%, mostly by making small everyday changes in your diet and controlling your weight, walking more, eating less, and eating foods that help you and your family to seriously reduce the risk of cancer. And of course, by not smoking. Visit the Cancer Prevention Together We Can website and get a free 30-day planner filled with tips, recipes, stats, and more about protecting your family. Go to prevent50.org.
Welcome to the show. Access Sacramento's hometown sports game of the week. Not quite ready for opening kickoff, and that's where we'll look at the keys for tonight's game. The Imperator has them lined up for you. Jim?
Well, as we await the kickoff, let's talk about both quarterbacks. First thing is top view, protection. Protection for Big Matt Jenner. He's going to need protection tonight against this Folsom D and to score some touchdowns. And, of course, Oak Ridge got their work cut out. The Trojans are going to have to contain Caden Bennett, who can throw from the pocket or throw on the run. Also, creation and capitalization of mismatches. As you know, Folsom's got a ton of big play receivers and running backs. And Oak Ridge is trying to match up with them, and it's no easy task with their DBs and linebackers. Trojan game management, they're going to have to run the football and use a bit of the clock, and that's where the Aggie boys come in, Adelman and Anderson, very capable running backs. And, of course, Coach Cavalier wants to use the clock. Big game experience, and the Bulldogs have it. Another big contest for the Folsom Bulldogs.
Thank you, Imperator. Don't wander off. We'll come right back for the opening kickoff.
Na 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 na, I love you so. I love you, I love you. La 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 la, la 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 la.
We're here.
Yay!
It's a short drive from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
Folsom High School band, nice job with our national anthem. And our game officials are going to have to keep up with some pace tonight between number 1 and number 2. So let's take a look and see who the NCOA assigned for this challenging task. John Wallace, our game referee, he's sporting the white cap, as you see there. Umpire Michael Weaver, also in the crew. Our head linesman is Jeff Van Horn. Harold Davis, the line judge. And it'll be Bruce Grinninger serving as our back judge this evening. We've got windy conditions, cooler temperatures, probably the closest of fall football weather we've seen so far this season, Jim.
It certainly has. The wind has come in. Temperature is dipping down, and we're down to 78 right now. Wind coming from east-southeast at 5 miles an hour. Humidity at about 30%. But we've got a nice clear vision here as we look over the foothills, and we're ready. This is real football weather.
Well, there you see Bryce Law, number 3, ready to kick off. And there you see one of the twin receivers there. That would be Daniel Nagata, number 4, for the Bulldogs. And he's got speed to burn to the goal line and a touchback. And that is where one of the keys of the game will be to neutralize comeback ability. Let's take a look at that Bulldogs offense that is ever so potent based on statistics and margin of victory. At the quarterback position, Caden Bennett has really distinguished himself as a major producer. Nagata, the running back, and 4 wideouts, all of them can sting you for 6. Very dangerous core there. Interior line, tackle to tackle. Caden Bennett right in the middle anchoring that. And here's our first play from scrimmage from the 20. Bennett fires left side. He's got a hookup. It's Joe Nagata dragging people. He shoves across the 30 and makes about the 33. Call it a 13-yard pickup. The defense that's got their hands full tonight, Zach Welch is going to have to anchor that front 4 solidly. And he's going to need linebacking help, just 2 of them, Sanders and Dyer, because of the 5 deep secondary with the extra safety. Bennett all day, throws deep, got a man on the dead run. They're not going to catch him. Second play from scrimmage, and it is 6-0 on a beautiful strike laid out there sweet to Parker Clayton. Clayton, we just got done talking about him. He's got his second TD reception, and that one was long distance, and he was wide open.
Well, he ran that post pattern and beat the safety big time for a big 60-yard plus, and Folsom jumps out front early here.
On for the PAT, Bryce Buck, but they're going to re-kick here. Something was amiss. So Buck, who's been true on 20 out of 22, make it 21 out of 3, and here's a look at the aerial connection covering 67 yards.
There's Bennett back to throw, and there you see Clayton on a post route leading and beating his man very easily, beating number 10 in that secondary, Justin Lamson, the young sophomore learning the hard way.
We'll be right back. Don't wander off.
Staring contest.
You still got it. I know.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
There's the Folsom kickoff. A modest return, but a bit above average out across the 20. A little bit of room to play with there. And doing a nice job of picking his way without much daylight, Sawyer Merrill. So that's where the Oak Ridge Trojans are going to take over. They're spotted right at the 26. The Trojans got stung. The scoring drive, 2 plays, 67 yards and 27 seconds. Left side shot, nice little hookup. Broken tackle on a spin away and fall forward about a yard shy of the first down on a nice second effort. Let's take a look at the offense. And that man, Avant Jacobs, is the one on that receiving end. Jenner, Adelman, and Jacobs there, very, very dangerous. They go with the 4 wide receivers. Welch anchors that O-line, an excellent 3-year veteran, 2-way starter. And a good start, a solid start for this offense here. 2nd and 1 from the 35. Right side running. It's a first down, about a 3-yard pickup.
Adelman has had a good year for them thus far, and he moves the chains once again. Nathan Adelman having a great year, had 181 yards coming in this game, and it's first down for the Trojans.
That was an important first down to shove out, not just for field position, but get control of the clock and show some composure here to try to drive the field and tie the ball game.
Well, once again, it's important that they try to control the clock and keep that Folsom offense off the field.
So it's a first down from the Trojan 38-yard line. We're just underway. Nice to have you with us. Quick hitch right side. Another hookup and another first down. Beautifully done that time, and this time again it's Jacobs with 2 catches and another first down. The defense on the spot tonight as always, but it is terrific, and you won't see a much better front 4 than that. The linebackers, they go with 3 backers, and they're all veterans and all league potential, and then just a quartet in the secondary of ball hawkers and excellent on run support.
Well, right now, they're not rushing Jenner. Jenner's throwing under 2 seconds, Will, and he's throwing these short routes, real short 7, 8, 9, 10-yard pass.
From the Folsom 49. Little delay, a misdirection. Get a couple on the play. Gain of 2, 2nd and 8.
You're not going to see Jenner keep the ball much. He's not known for running. He's known for passing. He's had a big year passing. He's a big 6'4", and he's got a great arm, nice touch. Been well coached by quarterback coach Watson.
Okay, pistol formation, fake the give, fire right, incomplete. Tight coverage that time, and we spoke of that excellent secondary and the strong safety really applying nice coverage. Parker Clayton, as you can tell, he's a 2-way standout. He had that TD reception just a short time ago. Jenner, quite a specimen there and a wonderful leader for this ball club. Motivational and brings the talent to go with it. 2nd and 8. Big rush, and he dumps it incomplete.
Well, that was a good defensive call by Folsom, and they blitz up the middle and put a lot of heat right up the middle on Jenner. He had to unload early.
Well, he, of course, avoided heavy pressure. Chris Richardson, always looking on, studying, picking up tendencies. Right now, a key 4th and 8 coming up, and they're going to think about it, look to the sideline, now shift into punt formation. High boot, not too long, but well placed, taken at about the 10. And now to the near side. Badger did a nice job of wriggling off the hook. He made 5 out of that. Good downfield coverage.
Well, when you got a guy that can quick punt like Jenner, that's a weapon. They didn't even have to bring Law into the game, who's a place kicker and a good place kicker, Bryson Law, as well as a punter. So that's another weapon, and probably wisely done, even though they didn't want to give up the football, Will.
They did not, but as you say, it is handy having that ability for your quarterback to be able to disguise the play and still shift into punt formation. 1st and 10 from the Folsom 15-yard line. Nice containment, stacked and dropped. Beautiful job that time as Joe Nagata tried a shake or two, but there was no way to go, and Adelman was one of the 3 players there.
Well, certainly he's one of the top defensive players in the league, in the SFL, besides being a hard running north-south running back.
Second and 9. Bennett, straight drop back, looks left, gets flushed, and steps outside and picks up a big gain near first down yardage before being upended hard. That was an excellent solo tackle, but a beautiful scramble.
It was a great scramble, and we had caused at least 2 missed tackles there. And you see what an athlete, watch Caden, he's back to pass. He's got all day back there. He flushes the pocket, 1 miss. Here's another miss. There's a great move, another miss. And he ambles forward for almost a first down.
Great lateral containment on the right defensive side. Daniel Ngata was waiting for something to show daylight, and it never did. A tough 2 picked up there, 2nd and 8. We're just underway here at Prairie City Stadium. Glad you could join us. This is number 1 and number 2. Folsom on top early. Right side running, Joe Nagata. Turn the corner, show some speed, and finally get shoved out. Nearing midfield. They're probably going to put him at the Folsom 45 or so, but another first down. Another look at that, and Nagata looks like he's holding that back of his right leg there.
Well, Folsom's ready to go. Folsom's ready to go. They're running a quick tempo offense here.
Great protection and a long overthrow with no Folsom receiver in the vicinity.
Well, what's one thing that Bennett will do well? If he's going to get rid of the ball, it's going to go out of bounds or well beyond anybody and not risk an interception.
2nd and 10 from the Bulldog 43, on the move again with a couple of first downs since taking possession. Pick your hole, reverse, nothing doing. Great D right there.
Well, we haven't seen many quarterback draws this year, and offensive coordinator Bobby Fresquez said that he was avoiding running and trying to keep Bennett healthy. And there you see a definite quarterback draw play, nowhere to go. So he reverses his field, and a great job containing Bennett by the Oak Ridge D.
Loss of 1. 3rd and 11. Quick shot right side, a hook shy of a first. Again, Parker Clayton with the grab.
And Lampson, young sophomore Justin Lampson with a nice tackle. Now you know Folsom is not going to kick, and as you watch there, that's excellent coverage by Lampson, young sophomore number 10. Nice open field tackling in the open field. Now Folsom's not known for punting, Will, and it's a long one, almost 2 yards to go, so you know they're not punting.
They'll need to make the Oak Ridge 47 here on a 4th and 2, and yes, they do not punt. Bennett, a quick bullet, caught for a first down despite the hard contact.
Well, I'll tell you, 30 was all over him, but not enough. Sam Sanders, outstanding linebacker, had him well covered.
No, he hit Joe Nagata, but great concentration. Here's another look at it.
There you see the fake, and it goes to Big Joe, and once again, Joe protects that football. Watch the way he uses his body.
Gain of 10 to the Oak Ridge 39. Bulldogs on the move. Quick shot right side. And here's a lateral off the completion. And this one's going to go the distance. Touchdown, Bulldogs. What a beautifully orchestrated play as Danielle Nagata carries the second half of that.
Well, they run that cherry picker or flea flicker, if you want to call it. It's Nagata to Nagata. Bennett to Nagata to Nagata.
It completes a 39-yard scoring play. shared by the Negatas. 13-0 on for the PAT. Buck mishandled, and we didn't see any indication by the refs yet, and it still got in there. Another look at that sensational touchdown.
Watch this, Nagata to Nagata, flipping it to Dan Nagata, and he is off to the races and makes it look routine.
We'll be right back. Don't wander off.
It's a beautiful day out here. Sunny today with light breezes, giving way to clouds in the afternoon. We could see some light precipitation to moderate precipitation later on, followed by powerful storm-like conditions. 90 miles per hour winds are expected. Authorities are asking everyone, stay indoors. Come on, that's it, let's go.
The short Folsom kickoff leaves Oak Ridge with some terrific field position. They're going to spot the Trojans at their own 40. A nice location to open this next drive, but they're down 14. They're going to need to make something happen fast.
A very important drive here, and Folsom could put you out of your game plan early, and if they do, you have problems. So let's see if Jenner can get them back in this game.
Quick shot to the left side. They've so far been successful with their short routes, picking up small bites, but have not been able to string some first downs together.
Well, I thought Merrill caught the ball, but the official ruled a trap.
I thought he caught it too. Okay, make it 2nd and 10 from the 40. Jenner with his hands full tonight, trying to engineer an offense. Fake the handoff over the middle, got a big hook up there, all the way into Folsom territory to the Bulldog 40. Beautifully thrown ball, Jefferson with the grab.
Tyler Jefferson's a big target, 6'4", can play tight end as well as wide, and Jenner hit him right on the money. There you see Jenner coming right over the top to the big target, Tyler Jefferson, for a good 15-yarder and moving the chains down to the 40-yard line. And Jenner has got them on the drive. Now this is a very, very important drive for the Trojans.
They dispatch double wide receivers to the right. They're going to run the football right up the gut, and it's short yardage. That was shut down by that tough D line. Adelman with the carry. They give him about 2, maybe 3 on the play. Call it 2nd and 7. Tough, hard-nosed running. Football parked at the Folsom 37. Clock rolling as we get to the 5-minute mark, midway first, and Bulldogs on top early at home.
Couldn't have asked for a better call.
A little counter play there. I'll tell you, the defense there reacted beautifully on that.
Well, they ran a blitz. If you see that again, they came with 7 guys. That's a great defensive call.
So it brings up, well, this is intermediate distance needed, 3rd down, and they need about 7 on the play to sustain here.
Well, it's 4-down territory. They're not going to punt.
Whistles blow this one dead.
There is no way Oak Ridge is going to give up the football.
Repeat the down.
John Wallace, our game referee. Okay.
You see those Folsom assistants here, their defensive back coach right in the game with his call.
Down remains the same. Make it 2nd and 12 this time. So a misfire there. Fake the run, roll right. Jenner throws a strike, but it's dropped. That was well executed except for the finish, and you don't see Jacobs do that very often.
No, you don't. That was a huge play. Avant Jacobs with the ball there, just about enough to move the chains.
Let's take a look and see if he looked up too quick here, but nice job by Jenner.
Yeah, that ball is definitely catchable.
Okay, on 4th down, let's see if they shift again. Jenner fakes the punt. They throw the long ball down the sideline. Incomplete as again they're going that time for Sawyer Merrill.
And you know, again, we're far away, Will. It almost appeared like there was a lot of face guarding going on in that far corner.
Well, tough secondary coverage again. Parker Clayton, he's been in on 3 big plays so far.
Well, Folsom now takes over on the 42-yard line with a very short 50-yard field in front of them.
That's something you do not want to do, is provide this explosive Bulldog offense with terrific field position, but that is the case right now. The Oak Ridge defense really on the spot right now to get a stop. Bennett looks right and fires. Nice completion, short stuff. They go to Badger on the play, and they get a nice solid tackle there by one of their top defenders, Sawyer Merrill.
Well, once again, it just seems like they can run those hitches and comebacks at about 8-10 yards all day long, and they haven't touched Bennett.
Gain of 7, 2nd and 3. Bennett looks right and fires left. Little bubble screen, picking his way beautifully through traffic. Badger, another move, finally spun around and dropped inside the 10. Elijah Badger.
Wow, he's got moves. I can't count how many moves he made down that sideline.
Well, let's try to count them.
Watch this bubble screen off to Badger. Almost picked off. Okay, here we go. There's 1 miss, another 2 misses, 3, 4. There's 4 misses, and there's 5. Finally taking him down, number 5.
Fortunately for the Trojans, that's going to be wiped out by a penalty. John Wallace, he'll tell us why. They move it all the way back into Folsom territory, holding the call. Football parked at the Bulldog 43. Second and 9. Bennett agile in the pocket, throws on the run. He's got Joe Nagata for close to first down yardage as he's spun out of bounds there. A tough cover, but Justin Lampson with the tackle.
Boy, Nagata's got his hands full. I mean, Lampson's got his hands full. Watch Bennett roll to the left. Makes it look easy. Big Joe Nagata with the catch. Lampson, young sophomore, assigned to Nagata tonight. What a tough job for the young soph.
It's going to bring up a 3rd and 1 after the 8-yard pickup. Double wide left and right. Fake the handoff. Here's a slant on target for a hookup and a first down as Badger has the catch. Rather methodical.
Watch this quick post into Badger. Fakes the handoff. Drills down that quick post. Badger picking up the first down.
Well, a timeout taken evidently. It comes at the 2:21 mark with Folsom on top, 14 zip, and we'll take a break ourselves. Don't go away.
Stumpy.
Nailed it. Bennett wheeling and dealing, throws deep. He's got a man wide open. Touchdown, Bulldogs. Badger with an over-the-shoulder grab on the dead run. Ooh, Daddy, that drive was accentuated by Mr. Elijah Badger on a number of occasions.
Well, he can go to the house and very often coast to coast. And once again, I haven't seen Bennett touch thus far here. And I know we're only in the first quarter with 1:56 to go, Will, but I haven't seen a hand on Bennett.
He's had awesome protection in that O-line. That's their top priority, and they have delivered. Beautiful protection. On for the PAT, Mr. Buck. And got it. Let's take another look.
There you see Bennett and Badger going deep. He's got his man deep, beat on the run, over the head catch. Bennett making it look easy, and so does Badger.
We'll be right back. Another short kickoff. Good field position by Oak Ridge, but no return. However, I think I'd take the field position. So Trojans are going to start in good shape, but now looking to climb an even higher mountain.
Well, they're certainly down. You're down 21 points in the first quarter, and a long game ahead of you. Once again, we've said it twice here at least, where Jenner has got to move this football team, and they've got to move the chains. And certainly they had a couple of drops in that last series, Will. Jenner actually is impressive, even though they haven't put points on the board.
He's playing a solid, steady game. He needs some help, though. So they open up at the 38 and blast ahead for about 3 to the 41.
Once again, Mr. Inside, Adelman, picking up about 3, it looks like, 2.5, 3 yards. There you see the handoff to Nathan Adelman. Tough running against that tough defensive unit, Folsom. Very underrated. Freeland, Hardiman, Christierson, Lynch are very underrated up front, Will. Their offense gets all the notoriety in the world, but you've got to give that defense credit because they hold down people.
Absolutely. 2nd and 7. Over the middle, deflected and incomplete. Somebody along the interior line got a hand on it, and the pass intended for Lozada. 3rd and 7. I'm waiting to see the other half of that A team. Mitch Anderson, more of a speed back than Adelman. And he's had a heck of a year with averaging 7 yards a carry with a couple of touchdowns.
That's impressive, Will. We haven't seen the likes of him yet.
Okay, on the run again, straighten up and gun one to the sideline. Intercepted at the 40. Well, that great secondary just did some more ball hawking, and they are dynamite. And give that one.
Khalif Nelson right there with the play, Will. And there you see Jenner out the pass and a little short-ended, and another great defensive effort by number 2, Khalib Nelson.
It's leaving Folsom with dynamite field position. They'll open shop here on this series from the Oak Ridge 46 with less than a minute remaining here in this opening quarter. Bennett has been terrific. They fled 3 deep, but it's going to be a sack. One of the very, very few rare times he's been sacked. And look who's got him. It's Nathan Adelman with a big sack.
Nathan Adelman, outstanding effort by Adelman, the defensive end.
Loss back to the Folsom 49, loss of 5, another look.
There you see Bennett back to pass, under pressure. Here comes Adelman from the outside and corrals Bennett for his first loss.
Bennett wants to throw to the right sideline. A nice leaping catch, hands above his head, dragging tacklers. That was very sure-handed receiving, and Parker Clayton is having a big game tonight. First down.
They sure made up that yardage in a hurry. There they are knocking on the door, back on the 27-yard line, Will.
Two to the left and 2 to the right. Look left and fire short. Nice cut right there by the scat back, Daniel Nagata. He's having a ball. Chased out of bounds, shy of pay dirt, but a dazzling run.
Wow. Daniel Nagata. There's a quick out into the flat, and watch him scoot. Look at the moves.
Well, that was good for a magazine cover for sure. First and goal from the 3. Bennett, a look to the Bulldogs sideline. "19 seconds left here in the first quarter. The Bulldogs trying to cash in TD number 4, but it'll have to come after this timeout.
It's not my first time bartending, so.
It's a sausage party in here.
It's fine. I'm very familiar.
Yeah, because you're a sexy girl, Sam. Last thing,
Yeah.
is that the music, when Momo kicks it into high gear, is going to get a little bit loud in here. So your customers are going to have a hard time hearing you. So you may want to.
What?
Okay, the timeout has expired and Folsom's offense is on the field, and they are trying to push a 21-0 lead a little bit higher here with just 19 seconds remaining in the opening quarter. What a showcase they have put on. Bennett is going to run it left, steps through a hole, touchdown Bulldogs. Well, Caden Bennett, nifty stepping for 3, virtually untouched. And this Folsom juggernaut is not letting go, and the defense turned it around this time. Badgers interception, setting things up.
Yes, a short field of drive, and you know, Bennett took a loss of about 8 to 10 yards there on a great sack by Adelman, and then turns around the next play and hits the first down. Makes it look easy, moving the chain, setting up the touchdown.
Big time buck. Here's a replay coming at you. And a little bit of arm contact as he's in the end zone. Easy as can be. We'll be right back.
Hey, you.
Yeah, you. Getting that college education. What are you gonna do? Graduate and take some office job? Be like everybody else? Or will you dare do something different? Like be a teacher. You could be my teacher. You got the skills. The smarts? Yes, you. You could be the teacher I never forget. That'd be cool. Does that corporate job even have recess? What are you gonna make of yourself? What are you gonna make of me?
A high and deeper kickoff this time by Buck. And the return is out to about the 29-yard line. I'll tell you, Jacobs has got his hands on the football a lot tonight, but he's going to need a little more open space to make something happen big. 1st and 10 Trojans. 8 seconds left in the quarter. And Oak Ridge now craning their head backward, looking up at a 28-point deficit.
Well, there's been pressure on quarterback Jenner thus far. They've had a few drops. And once again, they find themselves 28 down early in this half.
There's the speed back. Anderson into the game. It took a while, but he just blasted out on a quick burst. Mitch Anderson. This quarter has expired. Look at the scoreboard, 28-0. Folsom firing with all weapons. We'll be right back.
Fancy pants peanut butter? A big screen television? You haven't even brought a sofa yet. A motorcycle? When your father finds out, he's gonna flip his shoes with 2 buckles? What do you even need 2 buckles for?
Mr. Big Shot, buying whiskey shots for everybody in the bar. From the looks of it, I'd say nobody even remembers.
Feed the pig.
We open second quarter action here at Prairie City Stadium. Oak Ridge 1st and 10, but down by a ton here at 28-0 after a brutal first quarter. Jenner high and deep. He's got a man out there on the dead run. Caught and tackled from behind at the 25, but it's a beautiful hookup. Jefferson with the long grab, and Jenner put it right on the money. Correction. Sawyer, the gain all the way to the 25. Another look.
Watch him going deep. Merrill's got his man beat, and Jenner puts the ball right there, up over the top.
Sawyer Merrill came into the game with 2 touchdown receptions. Biggest gain of the evening so far by quite a ways. 1st and 10 from the 25.
Well, there's the deepest penetration thus far in this half by the Oak Ridge Trojans. Now let's see if they can put one in the end zone.
Anderson through a hole, and there's where the speed helps out, and he motors ahead to about the 17 or so. A nice bite on 1st down.
Mitch Anderson, the young sophomore with the speed, right up the middle.
Gain of 8. 2nd and 2. We're just underway here in the second quarter, so sit yourself down and relax here with Access Sacramento's Hometown Sports Game of the Week. Oak Ridge wanting to get on the board and neutralize that goose egg they have right now. Jenner, a lob to the corner, left side, got a man out there. Bobbled. Touchdown, Trojans. On the grab, Sawyer Merrill for 17 and a score. Nice touch, nice grab. Well, Jenner earned his keep on those last 2 throws.
Well, he has, and I like the poise he has, Will. He really is. He put the nose of the football up with good touch, and Merrill ran up under it. They've got a bunch of young sophomore kids on this football team you're going to hear about for the next 2 years. And, of course, between Anderson, Lampson, and there's about...
They go for the 2. They try the pitch, and it doesn't work. It was smelled out, and I'll tell you, Parker Clayton is having a dynamite game. I've called his number about 6 times already. So they fail on the 2-pointer. Let's take a look at the score.
Watch the poise. Jenner just not calmly puts the nose up. Merrill makes an over-the-head catch. Great concentration in the end zone.
We'll be right back. Okay, we're going to keep it here. The crowd has come to life on the visitors' side. Oak Ridge on the board. They didn't get the conversion, but they broke the ice, and they did it through the air.
Well, they certainly did. They went down the field very quickly. 2 big plays. And so as you look at the stands across the way, hopefully they got a little spirit going.
I'd say they got energized on that. Four plays on the drive, 68 yards. So here comes the kickoff, and we're going to abide by the law with Bryce Law.
Well, he put the first one in the end zone. Let's see what he does with this one.
He's had a number of touchbacks, and this is more of a pooch to the 25, taking on the run, barreling forward, and Folsom will have good field position outside their 30 to the 31.
Nice open field tackle by Hunter Neighbors, a young sophomore on the kickoff team, and a nice open field tackle. And let's see if the Trojan defense can finally maybe hold the Folsom Bulldogs here, because they've converted on every drive.
This is where you want to do it. You want to back up your touchdown with a defensive stop. Try to get some momentum with consecutive scores. That's the hard part. Chris Richardson there would like to see his offense continue to roll.
Yeah, Oak Ridge is playing with 5 defensive backs, trying to cover this potent, loaded offense of the Bulldogs.
Right side run, big hole, wide open, and Gata off to the races, and he is going to sprint 69 yards without getting touched. Danielle Nagata.
Well, that's out of response, or
I would say that's about as immediate as you can get. And Gata just turned on the burners that time and smoked it, as you see here.
Watch him turn it on. And he is leaving people. And no need to look over your shoulder. He probably can't believe it. He's in the end zone.
Well, I think everybody else couldn't believe it, but
he could.
He could. On for the PAT. Buck, spot, boot on the way. Got it. At 10:24. Bulldogs on the board, and here's how.
He gets in a high gear. He picks it up.
We'll be right back for more of the Folsom Bulldog Show.
Up to 40% of businesses never recover after experiencing a major disaster. Make a plan at ready.gov/business.
Okay, the Bulldogs kick off after their 5th touchdown, a booming shot to the back of the end zone by Bryce Buck. And Oak Ridge will come out to the 20 for this next series. And the one thing they needed badly was a stop. The one thing they could not afford to do was to get drilled by another touchdown, especially something that scintillating.
Well, yes, it was. I mean, no one expected that, I guess, except Mr. Nagata himself. He just made it look so easy. And he has got the speed to go with his power. He's a great receiver out of the backfield. He's a fine defensive back, and whoever gets him, he's got another year of high school to play.
That's the scary part for Folsom's opponents. Meantime, 1st and 10 from the Trojan 20. Jenner keeps and gets gang tackled and dropped for about a 2-yard loss.
Well, it wasn't much of a read option there. He faked the ball to Adelman, and really no one really jumped on Adelman. They didn't go for the fake, and Jenner kept the ball on that read option, nowhere to go. Matter of fact, he lost about a half yard.
Loss of 1, 2nd and 11. Well, I would think he's going to go upstairs here. Let's see what they can do. They fake the throws on the run, incomplete.
Well, they've got to block Lynch. I can tell you, Deshaun Lynch is a great pass rusher and run stopper. Number 40, 6'3", 265, and I'm going to tell you, he is a load to stop. He's got good speed for a big guy.
Well, yeah, he's one of a cluster of terrific defenders on this Bulldog team, and we can't rave about them enough, and we can't rave about their offensive line enough.
Well, both. They're both loaded, and of course we know they got the skill guys, but sometimes these linemen don't get their credit, and they do have both a great offensive and defensive front.
Jenner looking over the middle, fires toward the left, going for Jacobs in the crowd. Incomplete, and a flag flies. Double coverage out there, applied by the free safety, Davis Smith, and he got help out there from, that was Jenkins. Well, that was a deep drop for a linebacker.
Well, I think the biggest thing you heard was from the Folsom bench because of the delay of the call.
Okay, John Wallace.
To the face, on the defense. 15 yards to the previous spot. Got to give us a first down.
Follow through, John. You got to follow through with that signal. Let's take another look.
Oh, you see Jenner back to pass. He's going deep. Watch the coverage. There is a little bump in the back there.
It was a bump because Jacobs slowed down to draw the bump. So, you know, I think Joe Tex would like to have seen that play. The bump.
The bump.
All right, first down.
Little bump in the back.
From the 34. Nice cut back. Adelman saw the daylight and back to the middle, and a nice chunk there out to about the 42.
Well, they'd like to start on 1st and 10 with that quick handoff. There you see it, that read option handoff to their lead back, Adelman. And he's their pounder north-south guy. Then they bring in Anderson, their speed guy.
Nice combination. Their stats are almost identical. 2nd and 2. And movement draws a flag.
Boy, they were coming hard with Lynch again.
They sure were. 40 was right in there.
Lynch, I tell you, Deshaun Lynch is one of the outstanding defensive ends in this league and in the city. And he is a junior. I saw him in the pregame, Will, and I couldn't believe his size.
No, he's quite a package. He's got it all. Not just a pass rusher, no. The penalty makes it a 2nd and 7 after a 2nd and 2. Back to the 37-yard line. Tough luck for the Trojans. Heavy pressure again.
I tell you, no one could slow Lynch down. He gets a head of steam up, and he's in that backfield almost every play.
It sounds like they're going to have to assign one of their backs as a secondary blocker.
they're going to have to what we call max protection, because I tell you, Lynch comes hard. And they haven't thrown a bubble or a draw. They haven't thrown a bubble to Lynch's side or a quick screen to offset him a little bit and slow down his pass rush.
There's a good look at the Bulldog free safety, Gavin Davis-Smith. Okay, 3rd and 7. Good protection for Jenner. Gets flushed, and he's going to be dropped. That broke down in a hurry, and he got swallowed up by Tyler Hardman.
Tyler Hardman has got 2.5 sacks going into this game. Add one more to that list. Tyler Hardman, there he is, a veteran player, number 52, walks 260. And watch this bull rush. He runs right over that tackle.
That was Nick Scalise, unable to hold that block. Punt formation on a 4th and 13. High, but very, very short. And out of bounds, nearly out of bounds. It takes a backward bounce. Or they do call it out of bounds there. So Folsom will have it in great shape. You're going to spot it, looks like, at the Oak Ridge 46. Here with still better than 7.5 minutes to go in the half, and a 35-6 lead.
And only a 46-yard field to work with.
A frightful prospect for a Bulldog opponent. So 1st and 10, Oak Ridge 46. All day to throw. Deep on a sprint. Oh my goodness. Badger one-handed it on the dead run. 46-yard aerial connection. Bennett to Badger, the killer bees.
Oh, he is a killer bee. Boy, did he stretch it out. He ran to the football and then had a full extension to that football. That's as good as it gets.
Here's another look at that gorgeous play.
Oh, my goodness. There's Bennett going deep. He's got the nose of the football up, and there you see Badger one-handing it, scooping it in.
That's pretty nice. There's your highlight reel for the year. That's the front page of a magazine right there. High snap, spotted clean, booted hard, got it. Let's replay to the break at 7:33.
Here's Bennett once again, nose up, going deep. And there you have another touchdown.
6 more. Don't wander off. Lots more of that to come.
Okay, so we drowned the fire.
Yep.
Stirred it. Drowned it again. And now just feel if it's cold.
Yeah.
Cool.
Smokey just gave me a bear hug.
I know. I already posted it.
Kickoff in the air, taken inside the 5, and this is going to be a tough run back opportunity, going laterally and dropped inside the 20. Valiant effort by Sawyer Merrill, but no daylight.
Sawyer Merrill, a 3-year veteran, played in that terrific ball game here as a young sophomore, 2016, won by Folsom 17-16, and he was in that football game, making one of his early starts, and here he is 3 years later, outstanding receiver, having a good night here.
So below average field position as the Trojans open here inside their 20.
Well, let's see which one of the double A's in the backfield they're going with, whether it be Adelman or Anderson. appears to be Adelman.
Well, they flop sides with Jacobs. On the run. Broken up, and another penalty marker comes out. They were going for Merrill again with twin coverage. Parker Clayton there, but the deeper defender utterly astonished at the call. Another pass interference.
Well, as we saw the last replay, it did show the bump in the back. So,
well, C.J. Hutton and Clayton had the coverage there, so.
Defense, on the defense, we're going to go 15 yards.
John Wallace with the follow through. The crowd rather sullen right now, even on the home side. The shock treatment of the 42 points, about as quick as you can get 42, kind of turning things upside down here.
You see Jenner, traditionally the first down to give to Adelman. Adelman's assigned to pick up those tough yards, Will. He generally is tackle to tackle and picks up about maybe 3-4 yards.
Again, dynamite run support from the secondary with Parker Clayton.
That secondary is so versatile with Davis Smith, Clayton, Hutton, Nelson. They could defend the pass, and they're good run stoppers as well.
Football parked at the Oak Ridge 38. Gain of 5, 2nd and 5.
That front four, Freeland, Hardiman, Christensen, and Lynch have been putting plenty of heat on quarterback Jenner. Let's see if they can protect for him.
Well, they're going back to old-fashioned football, and it's not yielding much. Gain of 1.
A couple of tough yards for Adelman, and it puts him in a 3rd and 3. Have a look at this. A simple handoff on that read option. That hole got clogged up quickly. As you see, good team pursuit. Beside that toughness of the front four of Lynch, Freeland, Hardiman, Christensen, George, Richard, and Jenkins, outstanding linebackers, get to the football.
So here comes the big 3rd and 4. Fake it, throw it, diving try, incomplete. Jacobs, or did they give him a catch on that? One waved it off. First down, Oak Ridge, and it's Jacobs now with the diving grab to help sustain that drive. 1st and 10. Park it at the Oak Ridge 45. Let's look at that.
Nice catch by Jacobs, rolls over and keeps the football. Great effort.
Free safety, Gavin Davis Smith with the tackle on the play, but not before the ball was secured. Clock rolling, 5:19, flip side of quarter number 2. Happy to have you with us tonight for the Hometown Sports Game of the Week. Left side fake, up the gut run is stuffed.
No way for Jenner, nowhere to go. Fake the ball to Adelman, nowhere to go. The big fella Jenner is not known for his running as well. As we take another look there, watch him fake the football to Adelman, keep the football, nowhere to go. That defense stayed at home.
No gain, 2nd and 10 as the clock rolls, 4:35, late 2nd.
Big Matt Jenner at the helm.
Well, that play is busted. We'll wait for John Wallace to clarify for us.
False start. Offense. We go back 5 yards. Repeat first down.
Thank you, John. Okay.
All right. Well, I'm glad we're clear on that.
The penalty makes it a 2nd and 15 now football at the 40 as the Trojans get knocked back for 5. Big bomb right sideline, stretch out.
Wow.
Valiant effort there.
Yes.
Caleb Nelson, the coverage, but he was beaten on the play. Sawyer Merrill. That was quite an effort.
It was. He really stretched out for that. A little too much of a lead. But Jenner does put the ball out front and let the receiver run to the football.
Let's take another look, and I like the air he puts under it.
Yes, he does. He puts the nose of the football up and lets him run to the football.
Right there. That was a little stop and go, and I think Caleb was happy that was overthrown.
Well, we're going to see what if they can give us some mechanics here.
Yes, a penalty that was invisible moments ago.
It appears like holding, but it would be nice to know from Mr. Wallace.
It might have been a grab on Merrill, because Nelson, I think, got froze on that. But
yes, he was beat.
All right, 1st and 10 from the Folsom 45. New life for the Trojans. Look at this. Left sideline deep, through the fingers. That was on target. And Jefferson had that go right between the mitts. Nice toss by Jenner.
Well, he does. And I know he's going for all the big plays here, and they are protecting. And, of course, Folsom went to 4-man rush, and there is a little too far. But if he keeps running to the football, he has a chance.
Had he shown the way Merrill stretched out on the earlier play, that
Yes.
would have been a grab. So no deal, though, 2nd and 10.
But he can't throw underneath. They are giving him time to throw the deep ball. Well, they had that. That was a great defensive call. They ran a twist in that linebacker just before the snap. They had a blitz going. A great defensive call.
Adelman got, this is a very, very nice low tackle here on a tough back. That was well done.
Third and 10. I haven't seen that bubble screen yet, or any type of screen, because I'll tell you, Folsom is coming hard.
Well, they're loading up wide receivers on this play. General will probably have to get rid of it quick. They're after him.
Well, since he was out of the box and there was a receiver there, we don't have intentional grounding.
Well, Hardiman, 52, chased him on that play. So 4th and 10.
Well, it doesn't make sense. I'm sure Coach Cavalier is not going to punt the football. Not with 3:13 on the clock. He needs a 10-yard completion here, Will. He doesn't have to throw the bomb. He can throw that curl. He can throw the comeback instead of a bomb.
He's going for the bomb, going for Jacobs. Triple coverage out there, 2 receivers broken up nicely despite the fine effort by Jacobs. So the ball goes over. Let's see how this one plays out in slow motion.
And there you see him going deep. 3 defenders down the field. Ball is underthrown. Almost picked off.
Much better position by the DBs on that.
No question about it. But once again, Will, he hasn't thrown a short ball since the first quarter. So everything is, except for the diving catch that was made by Jacobs there for a first down. Other than that, everything is nose up deep.
So the Bulldogs have great field position. They'll open shop at their own 45, 1st and 10. Here's some deception on a throw on the end around to a wide open Badger. Touchdown Bulldogs.
Joe Nagata.
Well, this has been a Bulldog show, but it's been a Badger show as well.
All right,
55 yards on the scoring connection. Gee whiz.
Wow, a little faking the action. It looked like a reverse pass.
It went to Daniel Nagata, to Joe Nagata, and then he lets one fly. So Coach Richardson and company pulled that one out of their bag of tricks. The PATs cashed in.
Coach Bobby Fresquez, I'll tell you, I didn't know he had that many in his bag. I know he's a passing guru, but I'll tell you, tonight he has thrown it all out there. And you scouts out there with that play Folsom in the future.
Stay with us. More fireworks ahead.
Open road, here comes the Heffley family.
Whether it's a short trip or a long haul,
Estimated time 47 hours.
they will beg.
You're hungry? I'm happy to provide.
They will plead.
Deep fried butter on a stick.
But whatever you do, don't wimp out. Now you're talking. Make them buckle up.
He can't hurt.
Remember, safety first. Cheese curls second.
Are you orange?
Welcome back to Bulldogs Offensive Showcase. 49-6, Folsom leading Oak Ridge in this #1 versus #2 battle that is also the Sierra Foothill League opener. Out of bounds on the kickoff. Well, we have seen some Roman candles and fireworks of all kinds here tonight.
Well, we have, and offensive coordinator, like I said, an outstanding quarterback and passing coach, and one of the top coordinators around. Bobby Fresquez, it's just, he's mixing it up tonight, and even though they don't need these special plays, I think this is a good time to practice them, and certainly those people down the road who play Folsom in the future, those SFL foes, have got a lot to write down.
First down from their own 35. Jenner fires right, broken up. Well. Well, Jenkins had the breakup. Noah Jenkins, a dynamite linebacker, swarmed all over that play.
Well, he did.
We're going to go 15 yards.
That's at least 3 pass interference calls against Folsom tonight. Maybe 4. Let's take a look.
Let's look at this. Wow.
Well, he read that play like he was the receiver. I don't know.
Yeah,
that
to me,
at all.
he went through the receiver, and maybe they saw something we didn't. Will it appeared like he went right through the receiver.
Short yardage, if anything. They get back to the line of scrimmage. No gain, 2nd and 10.
Well, again, I know they need to score points desperately, but they've got some passing lanes that are wide open if they can protect Jenner.
It's the first time we've seen motion, but they fake it and intercepted. Unbelievable. Well, Caleb Nelson just one-handed that like a magician.
Wow. How impressive was that?
Well, I think he took one out of Badger's book.
Well, the thing I like about their DBs, Will, is that they go for the football and act like they're the receiver.
Yes, they do. That was exquisite. Slightly overthrown, and it was a bullet. But Caleb Nelson one-handed that like it was no thing. Here's another look at that play.
Look at this. You see Jenner back to throw, and look at that one-handed. He took it right away from Jefferson. Wow, outstanding work by Nelson.
Second interception of the game for Folsom. They take over from their own 34. Bennett throws back, going for Ngata, and he's got a grab along the right sideline for a big gain before stepping out of bounds at the Oak Ridge 40.
Let me tell you that Folsom is not hiding anything in their playbook tonight. Let's look at this. There you say a fake handoff, and now he's going deep down the field after faking to Nagata inside.
From the Oak Ridge 40, first down. 4 wide receivers down the field deep. Triple team coverage. Dropped in the end zone by Hutton. Wow, that was a, I don't know how Bennett fit that one in.
That's amazing. We haven't seen many drops on the part of Folsom. They come up with the catches.
2nd and 10, clock stopping with 1:55 remaining here in the first half. In case you've just stopped by, the bombardment started early and has proceeded often. 49-6, Folsom on the attack again. Bennett, high strike off the fingertips. Not his best throw, but catchable. And incomplete. One of the few incompletions. Grant Furry, the intended receiver.
Young junior Grant Furry, number 18, just a little over his outstretched hands, Will. And there you see that forefront and dropping off 7 into coverage. Take a look at that D. There's a great picture right now. 7 into coverage. Here comes the blitz.
Fire left on the money on the clear out to Joe Ngata, and he muscles up for a first down after sneaking through a couple of defenders.
Well, there you see the ability of Joe Ngata, the heavily recruited, supposedly Clemson bound Joe Ngata, one of the top premier receivers in the nation.
Well, he was tough after contact on that one. He was shy of the first down by about 4 or 5 and was able to pick it up. Student body right. Bennett's running out of room, throws and has a hookup. And he goes back to Grant Fury.
Well, watch Folsom in a hurry-up offense, trying to get one more score with 1:15 on the clock.
They have shown this Oak Ridge defense so many variations. Well, they got my head swimming. 2nd and 4 from the 22. The shovel pass worked right. Daniel Ngata stepping through traffic, weaving his way, and he's going to go the distance, and that is the run of the year for me.
That could be the run of the year, period.
Daniel.
That is highlight.
And Ngata just woke everybody up. That's as good as you're going to see. Here it comes again.
Watch this moves. Try to tackle him. Watch the moves he makes. Get off me. Another miss. Cut against the grain. It still has enough stamina and speed to go in. That's a highlight film within, and I tell you, it had scholarship written all over it.
The conversion is busted on, and we're going to show you that touchdown again. Now there's the shovel from Bennett.
Watch. They got a stiff arm. Move your feet. Miss 1. Miss 2. He's got the zigzag. Reverse your feel. Don't even switch the ball. Yep. Back to the outside hand, and 2 hands into the end zone.
We'll be back for more. Folsom preparing to kick off after another touchdown on a night of touchdowns, but that last one may be the most impressive of all. The run back being strung and reversed. Good effort, but just over the 20-yard line for all the trouble, but nice effort.
Well, it almost looked like Merrill stepped back in the end zone for a touchback there, but it certainly wasn't called.
55-6. 39 seconds remaining in the half. But we are veterans of first half scoring onslaughts by Folsom in this very same stadium. We saw the 75 in the first half against Vacaville in a playoff game.
I recall the downpour in the pregame.
So the Oak Ridge Trojans, they run it, get back to the line of scrimmage. And quite frankly, this has been the exact pattern of the previous 3 Folsom victories. A avalanche of scoring in the first half, running clock, and then cleanup duty in the second half by reserves.
That's right. This is the way it's been, and the only one that's held them under that is De La Salle.
And fortunate to get that win.
Fortunate, but when you think about what they had to defend.
Well, the clock has expired. The first half has concluded. And Coach Domino, we're going to hold it here because Lauren Goodman will be visiting with Chris Richardson, but we expected to see what we've just seen, but it was still astonishing in its own right. Well, I think Lauren has Folsom's head coach rounded up.
Defense has been big for you, but 4 penalties there. How does that affect your flow and what you want to do?
Well, you know, again, it's one of those deals where we feel like it's good coverage and they're, you know, throwing the flags. We'll adjust. I mean, we'll just keep playing. You know, that's the only thing that's hurt us thus far. So again, our DBs will keep covering like we always do, and you know, we complain a little bit, but it's football. It happens. It's all good.
Coach, any second half adjustments or anything you want to work on?
No, I mean, obviously our offense is playing lights out. You know, we just got to be sure they don't get any big plays on us. We'll want to control the clock second half and get the game over with. So we'll see. No adjustments necessary. Just keep running our stuff.
Thank you so much, Coach. That's all from Coach. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Lauren Goodman. And, well, Access Sacramento would like to thank the fine folks at Casa Ramos Mexican Restaurant in Folsom for providing a wonderful meal for the TV crew tonight. Burritos, quesadillas, taquitos, and all the fixings. That's all of them. Guacamole, sour cream, and oh my, a great salsa with just the right kick in it. Thank you to Casa Ramos Mexican Restaurant in Folsom for taking such good care of the Access Sacramento Hometown Sports Game of the Week TV crew. Thank you. Stay with us. We're going to come back for our halftime right after this note.
Look at me and think big. You think scary, but I'm a little misunderstood. Funny! Sorry, I almost killed you. Involvement misunderstood. not a fighter.
I don't understand that at all.
Kids with learning and attention issues like dyslexia and ADHD are misunderstood too. Take the time to understand.
Best plan ever!
With the right support, everyone can reach their full potential because you can't judge a bull by his cover. Learn more at understood.org.
They call me Prince like I'm royalty or something. But the places I've lived ain't no palaces. So I don't need grilled salmon or a new scratching post. Just give me a cardboard box and a can of tuna and we're good. You can even change my name. I'm cool being the kitty formerly known as Prince.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. You're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Yeah, I saw that coming. That will throw you off track. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
In Folsom, 55-6. Folsom's up. I'm here with Susan Posner, one of the teachers here at Folsom. Tell me about your role and your position here.
Oh, I've been fortunate to teach at Folsom High for 22 years. I'm a speech and debate teacher. I started off as an English teacher, proud parent of a Folsom alumni also.
So you have a lot of history here at Folsom. Now, I heard you went on a great trip and got to expound in your educational endeavors. What was that like?
Oh, I did. This summer, I had a chance to go to Normandy, France, and go through the path that our Rangers, our leaders in World War II took, only after spending last year in New Orleans at the World War II Museum. It was a special thing because over 400 teachers applied. They selected 30 of us. I was the only one that was not a history teacher that went.
That is so awesome. How much did you learn from that experience and gain and brought back to Folsom?
Oh, incredible. First of all, I tell the teachers I'm not the person to have on the trivia games because I don't know the historical part of it. But as far as the rhetoric, to stand on the beaches, to look up on that cliff, to realize that those are people that laid down their lives, that we have our freedom. Looking back on this week of September 11th and what that means currently in the lives of our students, it was an incredible experience.
Now, you've been here for 22 years. How much have you been involved in this community and watched it grow and blossom?
So when I first moved into town, this was just a dream. We were Sutter Middle School. That was the high school. That field, you took your steps very carefully because of the potholes. Watching Jordan Banning lead the JV team, he was one of my freshman students. To now have students of my former students come back, we are so blessed to live in this community. As you look around in the stands, you watch the enthusiasm from the kids. We're currently a winning program. That wasn't always the case. To know that our basketball coach, our football coach, hopefully our baseball program, they're not only coaches, they are parents of these kids. We're not coming in just to play the game. They're here to lead their friends, too.
Well, thank you so much, Susan. It was a great time talking to you. We're here at Folsom and Oak Ridge, 55-6. We'll be seeing you after the break.
Maria, so how's work?
It was fourth period biology. Our students just weren't getting how easily viruses spread. So Miss Bell and I had them role play a zombie virus outbreak. By the time they had all learned the lesson, all the living were dead. Hey, how's your job going?
That big sales meeting I planned? Next year, I might get to go.
Cool. Your son wants to get a cat, but you're allergic. Do you A, prepare yourself, B, make the best of it,
C squared equals
25,
Good job!
or C, find a loophole? When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers, but that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. Those we use all the time with hardly a thought. Those that are silently standing by to save our lives. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere we go. Many mobile devices will now bring you wireless emergency alerts, real-time information directly from local sources you know and trust. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know, wherever you are.
Here at Folsom, Oak Ridge 6, Folsom 55. We're going to see some cheerleaders right now. We'll be right back from a break.
So how was work?
It was 1,300 hours. My math class from 302 was in the trenches. Davy Roth had it the worst. Fractions were coming at him left and right. He just didn't get the damn things. 2 days ago, I tried to teach him what 1/4 of 1/2 was using different sizes of blocks. Yesterday, I tried again by dividing up pizza. Both missions failed.
Oh, no.
But today, I was ready. I created a combat math game where the only way to beat the enemy is to out-fraction them. Davy conquered every last denominator. My game was so successful, the principal is deploying it to math squadrons all over the school. Anywho, how was your day?
Oh, today my boss treated the office to salad wraps.
Salad wraps.
I know.
Open road, here comes the Heffley family.
Whether it's a short trip or a long haul,
Estimated time 47 hours.
they will beg,
You're hungry? I'm happy to provide.
they will plead.
Deep fried butter on a stick.
But whatever you do, don't wimp out. Now you're talking. Make them buckle up.
He can't hurt.
Remember, safety first. Cheese curls, second.
Are you orange?
Sure, I look cute now, but when my owner lost his job, it was rough. I was living on the street, and one night, me and this Cocker Spaniel got into it so bad, I wound up looking like an ice cream cone. I cried a little bit, but thankfully I got rescued, so I'm running, I'm jumping, all back to my old self. And I'm ready to give unconditional love, even if you put a lampshade on my head.
Well, welcome back to Prairie City Stadium. We're at the intermission here in a lopsided ball game that is the Sierra Foothill League opener. Let's bounce down to Lauren Goodman standing by with Eric Cavalier. Lauren?
Hey, Coach, I know you're down big. What do you say to you guys right now?
We say to our guys right now is we need to have a better second half than the first half. The goal is to score more than 6 points and give up less than 55. And, this is the SFL. We need to get better. We have an opportunity to do that for 24 more minutes, so that's the goal.
Now you're getting some opportunities, got that touchdown, kind of getting some guys going, got some penalties going your way. How do you build on that moment?
Yeah, it's just execution. It's not making mistakes. We came in here saying, we're not going to give up any deep balls, and sure enough, we've given up quite a few. It's a testament to Folsom's talent, but we've got to rise to that occasion. We knew we were playing a good football team tonight, and we have to improve, and that's the plan for the second half.
Coach, now I know you wanted no turnovers. How do you keep your quarterback encouraged and uplifted going into the second half?
Yeah, we tell our quarterbacks it's black or white. They're either open or they're not. There's no gray area, and we'll continue to tell them that. But Matt's a good quarterback. He puts the ball in the right spot, and he believes in his receivers. So we can't get on him for that either. Because we want guys to make plays. So that's just one of those things where one play you might throw it and it doesn't work out your way. The next time you throw it and you hook it up for a touchdown like we did earlier tonight.
Okay, Coach, good luck in the second half.
All right, thank you.
Back to you, Will.
Thank you very much, Lauren. What a class act, Eric Cavalier. That was about as calm as a cucumber you can get facing the daunting challenge that he has faced here tonight against this explosive Folsom Ball Club, Jim.
Well, I totally agree. Having known Coach for a long, long time, that's a great response to those questions here at halftime with his team getting beat that way. Never say die, and improve, improve, improve. As you take a look at the fans here at halftime, and we're getting ready to start that second half.
Well, let's take a look at the weekly rankings that somebody puts out. Oh, that's right, it's you. The Imperators. Domino's doesn't.
All right, here we go. For week 4 here, we start out, of course, you're looking at them. Folsom number 1, and I don't think anybody doubts that, having seen the first half. Oak Ridge is 2, and I know they're getting beat pretty good, but Intercom 3 with all that speed. Placer, undefeated Placer. Monterey Trail having a phenomenal season. Del Oro out front, by the way, at halftime over Granite Bay. Capital Christian off and running unbeaten. Granite Bay, Lincoln, Ponderosa, Wood Creek having a great year, unbeaten. Elk Grove. In the red zone, River Valley, Center, Rio Linda, Jesuit we saw a few weeks back, Grant High School, Sheldon, Bear River, and Casumas Oaks bringing up that spot in the red zone, number 20.
Well, that's a tough 20 to crack, Coach, and it fluctuates every single week, as it will this week. There's action going on all around town and other big matchups, but lots of folks were keying on this one tonight, but not quite playing out like many of them suspected. And again, heavy testimony for Chris Richardson's ball club.
Well, certainly does. It puts them a level above pretty much everything. And in all due respect to the great programs in town, the Oak Ridges, the Intercoms, Placers, Monterey Trails, Del Oro, some good football teams. This valley is loaded with good football, as evidenced when Folsom traveled south last week, played number 13, Chaminade, and went down into their home stadium, whipping them very soundly by 70-35 score, and made it look easy. So this Sacramento Valley and the Sac Joaquin Conference is known all over the state. You're seeing one of the top teams currently ranked number 13 in the country and number 5 in the state of California. That's not shabby.
Not shabby. Why don't you go ahead and say that again? Where are they ranked?
Currently, Folsom is ranked number 13 in the nation and number 5 in the state. And quite frankly, this state's got some great teams, including Mater Dei, and really, when you think of them ranking 5 in the state, you wonder how good are the other 4. I mean, really, when you look at Folsom. Right. But then when you say 13th nationally, we're talking about a lot of great high school football teams, and Folsom fits right in with all of them.
No question. And just because what we saw in this first half was performed with such relative ease does not mean Oak Ridge isn't a terrific ball club. As you say, there's that big gap. And a large part of that, of course, is what they can do in the passing game, and the aerial circus has so many participants, Jim.
Well, they do. Look at this. Caden Bennett, 76 passing coming in tonight, over 1,000 yards, 15 touchdown passes already. Look at the players he's going to. Look at the yardage they have. But look at that middle column that says average. Beside the 15 touchdowns, the average is 18.2 per reception. That is exceptional. As evidenced in the first half, they have players who can go to the house at any given time. They have so many weapons. And again, in all due credit to Coach Cavalier, one of the top coaches in the area, to try to defend this is unbelievable.
Well, it's virtually impossible under these conditions, and we're going to see massive substitutions. And you see warming up on the sideline, number 2 quarterback, Jake Riethmeyer, who is entrusted with backup duty to Caden Bennett, who has played almost exclusively in the first half this year, perhaps with the exception being the De La Salle game.
Well, and I'm going to tell you something. Jacob Riethmeyer is an outstanding quarterback, 6'2", 195. He's the quarterback for the future, and he will be a good one. And he's also been coached not only by Coach Richardson and his entire staff, but once again, Coach Bob Fresquez, who runs quarterback schools all over the West Coast. He's got one of the top quarterback coaches on the West Coast right at his school every single day. So how can you help but improve? And having a grandson that worked under Coach Fresquez, I can vouch for how good he is.
Well, the trend continues to hold the same course for Folsom in their ball games this year. The first string has played exceptionally well in the first half, enough so that they sit down in the second half and let others take the wheel, and that's what we'll see coming up here in the second half, Jim.
I want to talk once more about that defense, Will. You and I chatted in that second quarter about the unsung defense of the Bulldogs. And you and I know, if you haven't seen Lynch, Christierson, Freeland, Hardiman, Jenkins, Richards, George, and then a great secondary, Nelson, Davis, Smith, Clayton, and Hutton, you're missing it.
Well, here's the second half kickoff, taking it the goal line and coming out with it. And I'll tell you, Sawyer Merrill is a gutty ball player, but he just ran into a major roadblock right there.
He sure did, and I'll tell you, that's great coverage by the Folsom kickoff team.
Well, we saw Noah Jenkins and Davion Blackwell team for that stop.
Wow, I'll tell you, here now, Oak Ridge having a long fielded drive with the ball only on the 17-yard line, Will.
Tough way to go. The kickoff by Buck, a deep one, and downfield coverage, excellent. So here we are, 1st and 10 from the Trojan 17. They try to get outside and cannot. Back to the line of scrimmage, and not much more for their tough back, Adelman.
Well, linebacker Richard was right there, number 31, making the stop. Nowhere, you're absolutely right, for Adelman to go. Now we're in 2nd and long. Obviously, you got a passing situation coming in, and Matt Jenner's going to have to throw the football, and let's see if he does other things other than throwing bombs.
Well, they keep it on the ground and blast ahead for about a 5-yard pickup. But we have a fallen Trojan there getting up slowly. And that's guard Jacob Grinnell.
Well, they gave the ball to, we haven't seen much of Nick Anderson, and he showed us speed, and they gave him the football, I think, that time, and there was nowhere for Nick to go. And I'll tell you, he's got a burst of speed.
2nd and 5. Deep throw, right side, on the money, just off the fingertips And I'll tell you, you know, Merrill has been in the thick of things all night long. What a competitor.
Well, he is. And, you know, he came into tonight with a great average per catch, 14 catches, 228 yards, 2 touchdowns. We saw him get one tonight. And I'll tell you what, he makes a great effort to the football.
4th and 5, punt formation. Solo safety for the Bulldogs. Short, let it bounce, trickles ahead a little bit and stumbles forward for a nice roll, and it'll be down to about the 37.
Well, Badger didn't want any part of that. He doesn't need to.
No, he doesn't. He can rest on his laurels if he feels like it.
Well, what will the Bulldogs show in their first series of the second half? Because they've shown quite a bit in the first half, haven't they?
They have indeed. Bennett is going to come out and run this play, and then we'll see what the Brain Trust wants to do with their first string. They run the football with Daniel Ngata, and he's strung out and shoved out of bounds.
Well, nowhere for Daniel to go on that one.
No, there wasn't. Adelman came up strong to finish that off, and a slight limp detected there. I won't even speculate.
Well, once again, I would be with the long season ahead.
Quick hit, left side, Joe Ngata, step away from a man, and we'll see where they mark him out. That was a loss of 1 on the previous play to make it 2nd and 11, and they may have the first down. Let's see.
I'll tell you, take a look at this replay here, and you see Bennett quickly going to Joe Ngata once again. It looked like he about stepped out right there, but I'm concerned with the first down will, but I'm concerned with the bench and limping around with Daniel Ngata.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. So hitting the backfield for a loss. Nice defensive play right there. That was turned in by Sam Sanders. Excellent backer. Loss of 3, 2nd and 3. Or 2nd and 13, should say. Bennett looks right and fires left. A high strike, hauled in. An extended arm, fingertip grab, and again, Joe Ngata showing that high college D1 look.
Let's look at it again here. You see Bennett back to pass, takes 3 steps back, and he's looking for Ngata. He's going to Ngata on a turn in. And watch Joe making all kind of moves. A nice open field tackle. Give the credit to young sophomore Lampson for that open field tackle.
First down, however, from the 36. They run left and get a big hole out of that. I'll tell you that that bench is about as good as most people's first string. Davion Blackwell with the carry, and here he is again.
Very impressive. He showed me a good burst of speed.
Gain of 9, 2nd and 1. Football at the 27. Left side running again. Blackwell spins around and makes it to the 15-yard line. Plenty for a first and a whole lot more.
Well, as you mentioned, Will, you got Blackwell, number 9, Davion Blackwell, who can't crack the starting lineup when you got a player like Dan Ngata.
Well, he's trying to crack the lineup, but an excellent backup right there, getting some playing time here early in the second half with the running clock. We're already at 5:55 third. Keep it on the ground, and nice pursuit from behind to shut that down. Blackwell wondered what fell on him there.
Well, I'm sure as time marches on, he'll get a little more experience. But once again, you know, he's playing behind a guy that's only a junior.
Well,
he's a junior. Where am I?
Yeah, you
know?
can figure that one out for yourself.
Yeah. Maybe I should be is he thinking maybe I should be a wide receiver or something?
2nd and 12. Running clock at 5:15. Third period slipping away fast. A bullet across the middle. That's complete. Touchdown Bulldogs. C.J. Hutton. And that brigade of wide receivers we just splashed, they're all getting off tonight.
Well,
every one of them. Every one of them.
They are. Made that look easy.
Another look.
Watch C.J. Hutton running that quick post in there. Look at that inside, and then just get off me. You know, you got to wrap up against these receivers that they have.
On for the PAT, big time Buck. Got it. And another replay of the scoring
There's
aerial.
Bennett faking inside on the read option, going on the quick post. Touchdown.
We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Lourdes Stefan, host of Univision's Sal y Pimienta. Cancer doesn't just change the way you feel, it changes the way you look. From losing your hair, even your eyebrows, to changes in your skin and nails, cancer treatment can rob you of your confidence and self-esteem. But Look Good, Feel Better changes all that. More than 800,000 women have learned how to address the appearance side effects of cancer treatment through our workshops. Visit lookgoodfeelbetter.org to find a free workshop near you. Let Look Good, Feel Better help you feel like you again.
The Bulldogs just won't let go. Kickoff on the way as they lead it 62-6 with the running clock over second-ranked Oak Ridge in this Sierra Foothill League opener. Well, the play strung out to the far side of the field, and the Trojans will open up shop just across their own 30 after a spirited 19-yard return.
Okay, there you see Oak Ridge taking over at the left hash mark there. And I just saw that Oak Ridge bench and the coaches still, you know, really motivating their athletes. Their coaches never say die, and that's the way they should be, and motivating their players to try to improve, play hard every down.
Trojans working from their own 32-yard line. Quick hit, right side. Turn the corner, and a hard shot to upend the play there. And again, Sawyer Merrill, 16. We've highlighted him all night. And one of the better performances for the visitors this evening.
Well, pass completed for about a nice 7-yard gain. Once you see the total reverse pivot there, and they run that kind of a pick and roll.
There's a stop and go move. Plenty for a first down. Now that was some motoring right there. And, you know, Adelman is another one. He's not going to give up until they turn lights out.
You got that right. Extra effort by him after contact. And that's what you're going to see out of these Trojans. And that's what you should be seeing, and Coach is right. There's always room for improvement.
Well, Chris Richardson has seen his ball club play at an ultra-high level this evening. I don't know how many criticisms there would be, but I think they would pale in comparison to all the accolades that should be handed out.
Oh, yeah. Well, they got talent plus. They can hurt you in so many ways and exploit you in so many ways. Jenner picking up a couple, and there you see the scoreboard lighting up and the clock ticking away in a very fast third quarter.
Yes, the running clock does accelerate things at a minute to go here in the third. However, that has not lessened Oak Ridge's intensity. There's a hookup on the run. Jacobs split the D. Touchdown Trojans, I believe, but a flag is down.
Well, unfortunate for the Trojans, because I'll tell you, I like what I saw out of Avant Jacobs. He showed me not only the catch, but showed me good explosion, good speed going in the end zone, didn't he, Will?
And yeah, and he split those defenders and made them look bad.
Yes.
But the 49-yard play is going to come back on the hold. Tough luck for the Trojans, but we admire their spirit. Okay, let's check in with Lauren Goodman. What you got, Goody?
Well, we're on the sideline right now, and you're probably wondering, what are we looking at or what's behind me? This is the high-tech technology available to all high schools, but Folsom High School is using it to their best advantage. Every play that comes out, they get to come to the sideline with the coaches and examine every single play that's happening by the minute, by the possession. It's a total advantage to any team, especially a team like Folsom, who's playing up-tempo and needs to make corrections on the fly. This is definitely an advantage, and Folsom using it to their best. Technology is really taking over. Back to you, Will.
It sure is, and for that matter, Lauren Goodman is really taking over. Nice expose there on the advantages, as you say, that are available to all schools, but how about that practical usage that we're seeing tonight?
Well, I believe this is the third year they've in operation, and it's very impressive. And it's a great teaching tool.
It certainly is, and the lessons we've seen demonstrated out on the field tonight could also be considered a great teaching tool. A wild crowd has enveloped Prairie City Stadium since early on, and despite the lopsided score at present, still plenty of energy in the big house tonight. They want to go deep, and they do go deep. They're going for Merrill, a shove off, incomplete. That was a weird play.
Well, you saw some mobility on the part of Jenner. I'll tell you, they had him trapped back there, and he flushed the pocket, and I'll give the big fella credit. Matt Jenner, if we look at this closely, they've got Matt trapped off the fake, pumps, evades the tackle, and goes deep. And look at Merrill. If he goes deeper, he's got a touchdown.
Well, the crowd really getting into the spirited that accompanies a big win. We're into the fourth quarter by a minute. Deep shot up the field, little high, and Jacobs, the intended receiver, he's played his heart out tonight.
Well, they had two receivers going up the lane that time, and look at Coach Richardson here on the sideline talking to his troops and keeping them going.
So we got 10:43 to go, and it seems the closer we get to the end of this contest, the more fired up this crowd becomes. Here's the Oak Ridge punt early here in the fourth quarter. And they let it die at about the 12-yard line or so. And that's where the Folsom offense will take over. Enter backup QB Jake Riethmeyer. He wears number 7 as the clock hits the 10-minute mark.
Enrique, go!
Well, as always, we want to remind you that Lauren Goodman will be interviewing our players of the game. We select one outstanding performer from each school. Tonight, that may seem to be a tough assignment, particularly for Folsom, but we have the ballots ready and want to make sure that you're aware of that, because you'll be listening to two outstanding student athletes at the conclusion of this game. But now, a modest run off tackle right. The time-consuming clock rolling on.
All the number twos. Folsom's got their number 2 team in there, Will, and rightfully so. Next year's quarterback, Reithmeyer, in there.
Second and 5 from the 17 of Folsom. They run wide to the near side, trying to turn corner. Nothing doing. Strung out and dropped. Well, statistically speaking, and to be quite candid, the Imperator and I had no chance to crunch numbers up here. We would have needed the executive statistician to take care of that for us, but Mr. Martin is handling a much more crucial duty right now. But we do have the key plays. Through the air, quick hit, right sideline, and struggle ahead for more. Nice effort after the contact right there. Chris Catalano with the grab. First down, Bulldogs, as the clock speeds ahead at the 7:45.
Very impressive athlete, Chris Catalano. I've got to see him getting in football games earlier this year, and I'll tell you what, he can come in and play wide receiver, a good defensive back, and a fine young athlete.
Turn and give, nothing there. There was 2 tacklers in the hole. However, it serves its purpose. The clock rolls at the 7:15. And what a showcase we saw this evening. This is the kind of performance, if you were going to play Folsom later in the year, that you wouldn't have wanted to see.
No, you didn't want to see it. And if you want to watch highlight films, we have some great highlight plays, probably, that went the distance tonight, that would be the delight of many spectators.
Quick slant, that's complete. Broken tackle on the dead run, and tracked down inside the 15-yard line on the hook up to Matthew Simon.
Give Jacobs credit for catching up with him, and never say die. Avant Jacobs catching up, or that was touchdown written all over it.
You'll notice the broken tackle here.
Yes, there's a missed tackle, 2 missed tackles. He's off to the races. Jacobs takes a great angle and catches him on about the 5.
And says, you're not getting in on this play. Nothing doing. They try to go wide left, and that one is chopped down nicely. Tough D right there.
Backside pressure, yes. Credit number 47 coming in from the backside. Daniel Kelly on the backside.
Well, we'll see about the play calling here as the clock has reached the 5:35 mark. Daniel Kelly, the center of attention there. Don't know the nature of the discussion, but here is our good friend John Wallace to let us know. Thanks, John. Okay, penalty moves them back. Short yardage play, as we're less than 5 minutes remaining in this one.
Well, we're looking at a number of backups of Folsom, but we're seeing Coach Cavalier used some of his bench as well in looking at that defensive lineup on the field for the Trojans, Will. And it's great that both schools giving some kids opportunities to play.
Number 11, Jay Taylor, with that last carry.
A nice open field tackle there.
Say, hey, Jay, go left and then sweep right.
Yeah, a nice open field there by the Oak Ridge Trojans, with the clock ticking away with 4 minutes to play.
The Sierra Foothill League opener for both teams. And of course, Granite Bay, Del Oro, and Grant and Rockland all looking on. They opened up tonight as well.
Well, I love that. I love that bubble screen, the way they set it up. Wow. They put a little motion in there, and well executed by that backup group.
Joey Washburn, number 12, solid.
Very solid. And of course, quarterback Jacob Riethmeyer, excellent.
And keep in mind, he's not calling a standard game right now that he would if this were a reasonable score. These are play calls that are conducive to a lopsided game by nature. So they're still executing well, and now the ball is going to go on over. Oak Ridge will have possession here at the 3-minute mark. And see what the Trojans can do here in the final minutes.
Well, I'm sure that they'd like to put at least one more touchdown on that scoreboard.
Right side running, bob it outside again, string it, and run for 20. Penalty marker dropped, and a little too much exuberance there. And we have a fallen Trojan down here inside the 10-yard line, who's being now rapidly attended to, as that's looking a little more serious. Didn't want to see the game end on that note.
No, we don't want to see that. We don't want to see it at all, and you always want to end on a good note despite the score. These two are rivals, but certainly you want everyone to finish the game healthy.
Well, there's just 2:14 showing, and without knowing the seriousness here of this, I wouldn't be surprised if they just call it quits right here. There's nothing to be gained, really, by proceeding from this point on, and the injury out there is the most important thing right now. Well, there's about 8 people there from Oak Ridge attending to that fallen player. This will give us a chance to tell you what we've got up our sleeve for next week, because the show must go on, and that would be Access Sacramento's hometown sports game of the week. And next Friday we'll be at the furthermost southern boundary line of Sac before getting to Elk Grove, and that would be Sheldon High. And Joe Catolico's outfit will be bracing for the invasion of John Heffernan's thundering herd of Elk Grove.
Quite a rivalry, and we've been out to Sheldon many, many times, and I'll tell you, that shapes up to be a good Delta League clash, believe me.
Oh, yes, that one is not to be missed. Lots of talent on both of those clubs, and it certainly will be a heck of a show. We see an emergency crew taking the gurney out to the field. I'm quite certain they're taking all precautions with the injured member of the Oak Ridge team, and not knowing what it might be, we won't even speculate. So we're going to step back for a few and encourage you to stay with us. We'll be right back.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie. Nailed it. We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on, man, let's split a ride home.
Well, we welcome you back to the fray. A stoppage on the field for an unfortunate injury. Both sides, both teams are kneeling and in their good wishes, and this will give us a chance to rave about what we had tonight up here, because Access Sacramento has to thank the fine folks at Casa Ramos. It's a Mexican restaurant right here in Folsom, because they provided a wonderful meal for the TV crew tonight. Burritos, quesadillas, taquitos, all the fixings included. We had guacamole, sour cream, and oh yes, it was great salsa with just the right kick. So we thank you, Casa Ramos, Mexican restaurant here in Folsom, for taking such good care of the Access Sacramento Hometown Sports Game of the Week crew. They're being very, very careful with the injured player, as we would expect. And again, I don't know what the existing policy is on the field right now, but I really don't see a point in continuing the remaining 2 minutes and 14 seconds.
Well, I concur with that, Will, except you've got three parties involved, the officials and both schools. And if they all agree to those terms, that can happen. But it doesn't seem like that is occurring. And quite frankly, even if that decision is made, it would follow them taking care of the injured person. Okay?
Well, we'll leave it up to the governing powers here. We see John Wallace and the officiating crew from the NCOA huddled and still reluctant to remove the player from the field, so don't want to speculate. We see Chris Richardson and some of the Folsom coaches looking on, trying to be helpful in any kind of way, but nothing much they can do at this point in time. We were treated certainly to an astonishing offensive explosion tonight, and they were not routine touchdowns by any means. We saw
we had many big plays. We certainly did, and some of those plays can be in anyone's highlight films. Believe me. Well, they were a ton of them. Moves galore.
We take a look at our running sheet here, and we had Bennett connecting with Parker Clayton. We had Bennett connecting with Joe Ngata, who took the hook and ladder from Daniel. We had Bennett on a touchdown pass to Badger that was a circus catch on the run. Bennett, a 3-yard run. Then we saw the Daniel Ngata sideline burst of 69 yards that immediately followed the only Oak Ridge score of the night.
The very next play. Yeah.
Then Bennett to Badger again. Then we saw Badger, another one from 55 on the reverse pass from Joe Ngata. And then Daniel on that amazing 28-yard quadruple cutback, 8 missed tackles, and finally getting into the end zone. So none of them were routine touchdowns.
And by the way, I've watched Daniel on the sideline, and he seems to be okay. I was concerned about the way he was walking with the thigh.
Well, we were all concerned about that, but more concerned right now being directed out onto the field as you see the medical personnel now overseeing exactly how his transportation is going to be arranged. So, well, let's bounce our attention back to Goody. What you got, Lauren?
On the leg, he got rolled on by probably a Folsom player on the line. They're doing precautionary because it snapped out of place and got snapped back in before EMTs got to the field. So they're doing a precautionary, taking him to the hospital now to make sure that his leg is getting checked on. Back to you, Will.
Okay, thank you very much. It didn't quite get the first part of that, but glad to hear that it was not as serious as originally thought. And of course, now everybody breathing a sigh of relief as the gallant warrior is being transported off the field for further observation. And always a concerned, if not scary, moment when that cart comes out.
Well, yes, and apparently they're moving the chains here.
I won't speculate. I have no answer. I just can tell you that it's a first down for Oak Ridge somehow at their own 49 with 2:14 to go. So back to the game, huh? Okay. Let's just have a swing of emotion here and crank it back up. There's Anderson. We didn't see enough of him tonight, Jim.
No, we didn't, and I'll tell you, I like his burst of speed. You're going to see a lot of him in the future.
Mitch can motor. He can motor, man.
He can. He marked that number 9 because he's got 2 more years of eligibility. And I'll tell you, he's a good-looking back.
Well, he just scampered for 1 first down, and great misdirection on that fake.
Well, give credit to quarterback number 10, Justin Lamson, a young sophomore with a great fake and another one with a great future. And watch Lamson in here, and everyone in the ballpark thought Anderson had the ball. Lamson keeps it and goes up the field, moves the chains.
Yes, everybody in the ballpark out of bounds. Clock rolling, reaching just about a minute. Quick shot right side. He's got a hookup and not going much further. Thrown down on a hard tackle there. Blackwell.
Yeah, well, I'm glad to see young Justin Lamson getting an opportunity here, and you're seeing a bunch of sophomores in that lineup. You're seeing some good-looking kids, Anderson, Lamson, fine-looking sophomores in that lineup. Neighbors, and
incomplete on the sideline pass to the right as we reach the 30-second mark. Oak Ridge can still strike from there. They're working on a 2nd and about 6 now.
Well, with this running clock, they may not get another playoff after this. This is a big play for them.
Better go for the end zone, right?
Yeah.
Triple wide left. He's looking that way. Wind it up, pull it back, and run it. Not much inside the 20, but as you say, Coach, the clock says zeros all the way across. And as James Cagney might say, the examination's over. What a game it was. Not close by any means, but impressive, entertaining. Oh, yes. 62-6. Folsom showing off unlimited firepower and deception and trickery. We saw some dazzling plays from Chris Richardson's ball club, and just a little bit too much on each of them for Oak Ridge. But sportsmanship, yes, as you see there clearly. There's Jacobs. He played a whale of a game for the Trojans. Just not enough tonight. And again, I applaud Coach Eric Cavalier for his awesome halftime interview and giving the rundown from the Trojan locker room. Don't wander off. When we come back, Lauren Goodman will be visiting with our players of the game and perhaps even tonight's winning coach. We'll be right back.
Maria, so how's work?
It was fourth period biology. Our students just weren't getting how easily viruses spread. So Miss Bell and I had them role play a zombie virus outbreak. By the time they had all learned the lesson, all the living were dead. Hey, how's your job going?
That big sales meeting I planned? Next year, I might get to go.
Cool. Your son wants to get a cat,
I'll really take care of him.
but you're allergic. Do you A, prepare yourself, B, make the best of it,
C squared equals
25.
Good job.
or C, find a loophole? When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers, but that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. Those we use all the time with hardly a thought. Those that are silently standing by to save our lives. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere we go. Many mobile devices will now bring you wireless emergency alerts, real-time information directly from local sources you know and trust. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know wherever you are.
Well, the verdict is in, and the decision is final this evening here at Prairie City Stadium on the campus of Folsom High School in a Sierra Foothill League opener for the number 1 and number 2 ranked teams in the area. It was a wild one, but not close. 62-6 Folsom, and we have players of the game just about ready. But on your screen there, we have a graphic to let you know that we have selected Sawyer Merrill, the outstanding two-way star of Oak Ridge, and Folsom's Elijah Badger. Lauren Goodman is standing by with our players of the game. Lauren?
Night was full of outstanding plays and outstanding players. Here first from Oak Ridge, I have Sawyer. You had an amazing game, senior. What was your mentality coming into tonight?
My mentality, you know, Folsom's a great team, but we just had to come in, treat it like any other game. Our coaches gave us a great game plan, and, you know, we just had to execute that, and that was my mindset coming into this game.
Now, you led your team with everything, going out there diving for catches. How important to that is to your offensive core and how hard you play?
I always play as hard as I can. I give credit to my quarterback and my O-line and my whole offense. They're always just working for me. We got each other's back, and yeah, that's what.
Now, how are you guys going to bounce back, or how are you going to help your team as a leader bounce back from tonight?
Bounce back, you know, we're going to look at our mistakes. We're going to watch a ton of film, and we're just going to use this game as a way to kind of make ourselves better for games to come, and we'll get better throughout the season.
Thank you so much, Sawyer. Good luck on the rest of the season. Now, from Folsom, I have Elijah here. Elijah is becoming a big-time playmaker for Folsom, out there catching one-hand passes and all that. How do you do all that?
It's just in me, I guess. I didn't really try to do it. It's just really in me.
Now you go above and beyond. You make spectacular plays. You shake and bake. What is your mentality when you're out there on the field? You have so many great players around you. How do you stand out around those players?
It's a team effort. I practice on the field with them and off season, obviously, and I practice when I'm at home, train my routes, do anything I can to get better.
Now, I've seen you a few times. You and Bennett are becoming a great combo and a connection. What's your relationship like with him, and how do you help him be great?
Off the field, we have good team chemistry. We hang out a lot. On the field, we hang out a lot. Stay after practice, throw some balls, and we just get better every day.
Now, you guys are putting in the work, as I can tell. How do you continue to keep your team focused when the game is such a big blowout like this?
Have a great practice, listen to the coaches, and follow the game plan.
Thank you so much, Elijah. Now, from the winning coach over here, Coach Richardson, now you guys came out big lead in the first half. What was your mentality, or what's your mentality for your team coming into the second half and keeping them focused?
Well, again, you're when you're ahead like that, you want to be sure you're still executing your schematics, right? So, we want to get in a situation where we get everybody to play, which we did that. But again, we've been locking in and trying to be sure our Group 2 and Group 3 guys know their assignments. Keep everybody focused on the sideline. Doesn't turn into a big party. You want to be sure you're respectful of the team you're playing and finish the second half in the right way.
Now, you talked about having those second and third guys get in. How important is that going down further down the line when you guys are going to get into tougher competition?
Well, absolutely. You want to get in a situation like this where you keep your starters healthy, but develop confidence in playing time in some of those other guys. So if injuries happen or some guys step up and rise up the depth chart in these kind of situations, again, we have a lot of great players, and it's hard to spread the ball around to everybody and keep everybody happy. But again, our guys are mature and understand what we're trying to do and what we're trying to accomplish. And again, we did some good things tonight.
Now, Coach, I love how you like to mix up the offense. You had a few trick plays in there in the beginning. How does that keep your team with the tempo? I know you pressure tempo. How does that keep your team spicy?
Well, we thought that our trick plays were going to set up well tonight with the kind of coverages they were running, and we work them all the time. It's a part of what we do, and we've been saving them, and we want to be sure we now that we're in league play, we want people to have to defend the whole field and in all different kind of ways. And so we showed some things tonight, and now people are going to have to watch us and be prepared, and it softens defenses up and gets everybody kind of second-guessing what they're doing. So, it worked out tonight, and people are going to have to prepare for it in the future.
Coach, now everybody knows about Bennett and the high-scoring offense, averaging over 50 points a game, but nobody is really talking about your defense. How special is that, or much as that is a sleeper for you?
Right. Our defense is incredible. And again, we held De La Salle to 14 points. I know we didn't score, but our defense played great. And if you look at their numbers sent in, particularly with our starters, it's impressive with what we're doing. And we have some great players. We're going to pick up a kid named Shannon Pierre next week that'll be back with our team. Deshaun Lynch, Tyler Hardiman, Dylan George, Caleb Nelson. I can list our whole defense. We're as fast and physical and athletic as we've ever been on defense. And when you couple that with our explosive offense, we're pretty tough to handle.
Coach, well, you got a lot on your hands, and I know you got a lot going forward. Good luck in the rest of the season. Great game. Back to you, Will.
Well, thank you, Lauren. Well said by Coach Richardson. He has a straightforward approach and doesn't get wrapped up with the sensationalism or the high level of attention that they're getting as an elite ball club. And just a tip of the cap for controlling that so well and with such a veteran staff to help him do that.
That he has, Will, and he has the experience. He's played in a lot of big games, and you can tell that their standards, their performance objectives are very, very high. And as we mentioned, and we said this during our telecast, that he's letting others in the SFL see that they do other things too, whether it's reverse pass, halfback pass, flea flicker, whatever. We have a lot in our playbook, and you better be ready for it.
And they're not just in the playbook. They were textbook tonight out there. We saw that hook and ladder, and we saw the reverse pass. It was so impressive to go out of the ordinary and to showcase that and say, here, we got this too. So
yeah,
I imagine that would be a daunting thought for any teams around the area to think that they've got even more than what they've been showing.
Well, like as we've said from the beginning, right now, in all due respect, on any given night, anybody can beat anybody. But it appears what they have shown here in the last 3 weeks, there is quite a gap to try to reach into that number 1 spot and take them out of it. When you're dealing with the 13th ranked team in the country and the 5th ranked in the state, and I would say off tonight's performance, it's going to go up. They will be ranked higher than even this week.
I would think so, and anybody that takes the bother to watch the highlights would have to be even more impressed with what they're seeing out of this ball club. Just something we haven't seen before. And I love the compliment Coach Richardson gave to his defense, basically saying this is as tough as their defense has ever been.
Here's your highlights.
Well, highlights galore. And it was tough keeping up with those guys tonight, wasn't it?
Well, I'll tell you, almost every play was a highlight.
Well, Bennett has 6 great receivers, and when he picked out Parker Clinton, that was the start of things to come, and it just snowballed. Major domino, there's the hook and ladder, and the Angatas had a field day. Badger had a field day. And just take your pick. Slice and dice, mix and match. Another strike over the middle. Badger had 3 at least. Maybe it was 4 tonight.
At least 3.
And then Bennett can step in there where the daylight is, getting into the act. It wasn't all with his arm tonight, but what a show they put on. And I must say that it was a pleasure to watch. And Access Sacramento and the Hometown Sports Game of the Week broadcast crew wish to express their appreciation to the Folsom High School administration for their cooperation and assistance with this production. The Hometown Sports Game of the Week is a special sports presentation of Access Sacramento in association with Play-by-Play Sports Productions. For the Imperator of Analysis, Hall of Famer Jim Domino, Lauren Goodman, and the entire Hometown Sports Game of the Week broadcast crew, led by Director Gary Martin, I'm Will James. We thank you so much for joining us tonight and look forward to the next occasion when we can get together. Final score tonight, winning big, number 1 Folsom, pouring it on, 62-6 over Oak Ridge. So long, everyone.
Program from Access Sacramento's Hometown Sports Game of the Week is available for purchase on DVD. For more information, call Access Sacramento, 916-456-8600, extension 0. This has been a Hometown Sports Game of the Week broadcast from Access Sacramento. Major underwriting support this season for Hometown Sports Game of the Week on Access Sacramento is provided by the Sacramento Metropolitan Cable Television Commission. Access Sacramento also thanks Sharif Jewelers, fine jewelers since 1932. Sharif Jewelers, a longtime sponsor of community television. And Folsom Lake Honda, a proud sponsor of Access Sacramento's Hometown TV and Game of the Week, and a partner in our community, Folsom Lake Honda.